Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your eclipse readings. So I'm going to do these special readings for the eclipse season, specifically for the solar eclipse that's happening in Scorpio at around 2 degrees Scorpio. This is a partial solar eclipse, and we'll see what changes can happen for you here. So maybe you have planets in Scorpio, maybe you have rising moon sign, whatever it is for you. You can check that out if you don't have your chart already. This is conjunct the goddess Venus, so there'll be a lot of Venusian themes associated with this, even though it's quite a wide solar eclipse because the node is kind of further away, so it's only a partial eclipse. But Venus is very tightly conjunct the sun there. So let's see what's going on for you. This reading will take you from now until the next eclipse. I will try to do readings for the Taurus eclipse as well, but I can't make any promises. I don't always have the freedom to do these readings. But I will try to see what these eclipses are bringing for you, Sag, okay? So let's see. What does Sagittarius need to know about this eclipse season? What is bringing to them? What's changing for them? You've got Venus, love, Uranus, and Black Moon Lilith, mystery. Interesting. I am getting something along the lines of attraction, okay? Very specific. It's not going to resonate for everybody, but what I'm seeing here for you, Sagittarius, is you're probably going to meet someone, or you may already know this person. There's either the beginning of a new relationship or there's very strong attraction that's happening here. And I just said that Venus is very tightly conjunct the sun in this eclipse. So there's a lot of Venusian themes that come up with this, okay? Whether this is love, relationships, your talents, your gifts, how, your sense of artistic sense or your creativity, or perhaps the things you see about yourself, beauty, things of that nature. So Venus did show up in your reading, so there's something like that impacting you. I mean, you may have Venus in Scorpio, and either Venus is aspecting this eclipse in some way, but I am getting attraction, okay? Especially with this Uranus card showing up in the middle. I feel like this is something quite unexpected. Quite electrifying attraction is what I'm seeing here, especially with this Black Moon Lilith thing. Could be that you're getting involved with someone during this time that is like quite intense in some way, and you might be thinking to yourself, it's like, why do I feel this way about this person? Why is it so alluring, so mysterious, so, it's kind of interesting. The Uranus is kind of the unifying energy here. So when it comes to relationships, Uranus is not the best energy to have involved, because usually these things start very fast and they end very fast, because Uranus has no patience for long-term things. Just saying, as an astrologer, in my short experience of a few years, they don't tend to last very long. So just a heads up on that, especially if the attraction is incredibly intense, for example, because that's what Uranus does. It zaps you into things that it's like you may not even expect. You might not even see it coming. So, for some of you, it could turn into something long term, but just as a caution, when Uranus is involved, they tend to kind of fizzle out pretty quickly, because Uranus is not a force that sits still for very long. Okay. Black Moon Lilith is also not a force that sits still. She's the archetype of the wild woman, feminine. Okay, doesn't have to be a woman, not gender specific, but is the archetype of the wild feminine. Okay, where there's a lot of intense attraction here and perhaps some sort of a mystery surrounding this connection, or maybe you start out with this person that is quite a secretive kind of thing. I'm not saying an affair, but it might start out as something that you don't talk about. Okay, so all of these themes show up with Lilith and Uranus. Okay, so there is the possibility of developing feelings here for someone, of course, with Venus, but Venus doesn't only represent relationships or other people. She has other archetypes. For example, Venus's archetype is of harmonizer. Venus harmonizes things that may not quite go together. Okay, it's the archetype of the diplomat, of the harmonizer, of let's all get along kind of thing. So for some of you, you might try to harmonize the wild side of you with Uranus and Lilith, and perhaps some of the more softer side of you, where you're gracious, feminine, diplomatic. You take other people's best interests, as your own, or whatever it is. You're trying to harmonize something that is quite unstable here. Okay, especially with Uranus and Black Moon Lilith. This is a very unstable energy. So, some of you that theme might show up where you're trying to balance out these things in your life. Your adventurous side, your, the vamp side of you. The Lilith is also called the vamp. The vamp side of you and the sweet feminine side of you. Male or female, not important, could be either way. So, yeah, quite an interesting combo. So let's see what the tarot may have for you. So what else for Sagittarius, please? Of course, if you're that generation of Sagittarius that has Uranus in Sagittarius, obviously this Uranus impacts you more profoundly because you may have it conjunct your sun or other planets in there. I am of that generation with Uranus and Sag, and that could tell you how old I am. So, yeah, it's quite an interesting energy that you've got going on here. Definitely something very, very fast, very mysterious, very attractive, very alluring is kind of coming into your life. I want to say creeping into your life. That sounds really bad. Something is coming into your life that's quite intense, could be a little bit dark, it could be a little bit, I don't know, maybe something taboo, something unconventional, especially with Uranus and Lilith. There's something very unconventional about this energy. And you might try to fit this into your life somehow. So what else for Sag, please? I do feel like your love life is actually changing, okay? I am getting that impression from the tarot as well. I do feel like, though, for some of you, you are the type of free spirit that gets bored a lot, okay? Or you might feel like you need to have some excitement in your life, okay? So you may feel quite bored, quite kind of lackluster here when it comes to your life in general. You might feel a little bit down on yourself, or something like that. And I do feel strongly for some of you, you might decide to not get seriously involved in relationship, even though the prospect of relationships and the prospect of being with someone is presented to you. But I'm not seeing you actually tying yourself up to someone. You know, I'm picking up on somebody that's quite free-spirited here. Okay, with this Wheel of Fortune here and the Ace of Swords, I do feel like you're becoming quite aware of your needs, Sagittarius, during this time. You may feel like you just need to ride that wave of unpredictability and being free and exploring the depths of perhaps your sexuality or something like that that's coming through very strongly. You know, you're not for the conventional, Sag, I will say that much. Now, I don't know how this particular message fits into the solar eclipse. You know, it could be that there is someone entering your life that's somewhat triggering some sort of a aspect of you that you just didn't thought it was there, or perhaps it's triggering some sort of a realization for you with this Ace of Swords that this is how I want to live my life from now on. There's a sense of adventure too that's coming through very strongly here. And there's also a sense of you wanting to shake things up. That's definitely coming through here. You're the type of person that doesn't sit still for very long. Okay. Some of you with this Wheel of Fortune, could be that this is the end of some tough period of time for you, because you do have the Four of Cups and this Five of Pentacles here, which is, you know, quite an unpleasant energy. You might have felt like you had no prospects, no hopes. It could be that there was something on offer here for you, but you didn't take it, or you don't want to take it because it's just not something you want. It does not fit your character, for example. But there is something changing here, and I feel like it does have something to do with this Venus situation, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about love. Again, Venus has other attributes. For some of you, Venus is also a benefic, so it can bring some sort of abundance here. She does rule the second house and Taurus, so it could be that you're getting something beneficial, you know, when it comes to your material reality. There's something changing here in your favor with the Wheel of Fortune. This is a Sagittarius card, by the way. This is your energy. Now, I don't know if this is you changing your fate, changing the direction of your life, changing something here, because you know, there's some clarity here that's coming through for you during this eclipse. And I feel like this is kind of the Uranus energy too, bringing this up. It's kind of making you realize how uninspired you've been so far. Okay. The Four of Cups and the Five of Pentacles, this is someone that has somewhat given up trying something new. Four of Cups tends to be someone that's quite stuck in perhaps past experiences. And Uranus is here to shake you up and say, you got to leave that shit behind. You have to try something new. Okay? Something different. Okay? There's something new that you need to do here in order to shake yourself up out of this stagnation and out of this, you know, because you've got Five of Pentacles and then you've got the Nine of Pentacles, which to me indicates that this isn't so much a problem of how much money you have or how you look or something exterior to you. This is a state of being that is very strongly coming through for me here. It's a state of being, Sagittarius, that you need to change. And I know, you know, you're going to say, well, you know, money matters, you know, we need resources. Absolutely, we do. There are some things you just cannot do in life without money. but it's like it's a state of being. You know, there's some of the richest people in the world feel poor because they're not, you know, there's something quite empty inside of them. So you've got that going on as well. It's just an attitude of yours. It feels like giving up, you know, that's something that needs to change drastically for you. And you go from this to the Nine of Pentacles, which is someone that's embracing who they are. You know, because this with this Black Moon Lilith here, it's like I feel like you're willing to explore certain parts of yourself that may not be conventional or accepted, or you know, you could be going on some kind of a journey where you discover your self-worth, and your self-worth might not have anything to do with conventional things. It could be that you're discovering you may have some sort of a talent that could bring you money, could also make you feel really good about yourself, but it's a matter of exploring that mysterious side of you. Okay. I do feel like you are getting out of this state of decline that you've been in for some time, because there are major changes showing up here with the Wheel and this Ace of Swords. And it's almost like you, for some of you, you might be leaving something behind to go live quite an unconventional life, Sagittarius, which is quite synonymous with your sign, because Sagittarian people are not very conventional at all. And it just feels like you might decide to do that. You might decide to explore a somewhat unconventional way of living, to change the way you see yourself, to change your mentality about how much value you have, how much value you can create, because Venus is about value and how we value ourselves. This is the Taurus side of Venus. Because you have earth energy here, this Venus is already filtered through the Taurus archetype, where it's about your self-worth. It's about investing in yourself, and being grounded, stable, and abundant, even if you don't have a lot of money, but feeling quite good about yourself within yourself without exterior validation or living conventional lives of everybody else, keeping up with the Joneses. You know, you just do your own thing, okay? Because I feel like you're being called to do your own thing here. I know it's kind of an odd message, but it's just the way it's coming across. It does feel like you're being shaken out of this uninspired, this, you know, perhaps somewhat depressive state that you've been in. Perhaps some of you, you've been waiting for something from the outside to come in and offer you something or do something so you can go somewhere, so you can do something. You've been waiting for something outside yourself to change you or to help you. Well, you know, all this time, there's something within you that needs to change. I hope that made sense. Because I'm hearing a lot of information. I'm trying to kind of put it together and make sense of it. So it's quite an interesting time for you, Sagittarius. So yeah, I would say definitely something unconventional is coming towards you, something that shakes you up. You may decide to live your life according to your own rules, to, you know, that sort of thing. And it could be that it's literally a person that's entering your life that has quite an electrifying effect on you. And it's like, okay, I want to try this thing. I want to try this path. Okay. So it's quite a beautiful reading, though. Um, some of you, I will say again, with the Wheel of Fortune here, your financial situation is changing also because you have Venus here. You might get some abundance coming to you. I believe Scorpio had a similar energy, but in a different way. Um, something is shifting, okay? And if it's not money or abundance or, you know, any kind of job prospects or plans or projects that are coming to fruition, is something has to do with the way you see yourself, how you value yourself, and how you provide value outside in the world, okay? It could be either one of those two things. It's going to be different for everybody. But I love your energy, Sag. It's quite interesting and mysterious. You know, there's something mysterious happening here. I don't know what exactly. It's going to be different for everybody, but I feel like this has something to do with you specifically. Some sort of a shift in programming, in, you know, perspective, whatever it is for you. There's something shaking you up, okay? And quite an electrifying sort of attraction that's coming up here for some of you. All right, Sagittarius, that was your reading for the eclipse season. A strange one, but interesting nevertheless. So we'll see what happens. Let me know in the comment section if any of this rings the bell later on. And I will speak to you soon. Bye.